Imagine flying over one of the driest places on Earth. Below you lies nothing but endless brown desert. No forests, no rivers, no cities. Just miles of barren land stretching toward the horizon. Then, without warning, enormous shapes begin to appear beneath your aircraft. A giant hummingbird with perfectly balanced wings. A spider stretching more than 45 meters across. A monkey with a spiral tail. Perfectly straight lines that continue for kilometers without bending. None of them are visible from the ground. All of them were created nearly 2,000 years ago. Who made them? Why were they built? And perhaps the greatest question of all, how did an ancient civilization create artwork, seemingly designed to be viewed from the sky? This is the mystery of the Nazca Lines. The southern coast of Peru is unlike almost anywhere else on Earth. For hundreds of kilometers, the landscape is almost completely lifeless. Rain is incredibly rare. In some places, years can pass without a single significant storm. The air is dry, the ground is hard, and the silence feels almost unnatural. At first glance, it seems impossible that an ancient civilization could have survived here. Yet nearly 2,000 years ago, people didn't just survive in this harsh environment. They created one of humanity's greatest archaeological mysteries. The Nazca Desert covers an enormous plateau between the Andes, mountains, and the Pacific Ocean. During the day, temperatures rise beneath the relentless sun. At night, the desert becomes surprisingly cold. Despite these extreme conditions, something remarkable happened here. Thousands of years ago, people carefully removed the dark, reddish stones covering the desert floor. Beneath those stones lay lighter-colored soil. By removing only a thin layer of rocks, they created enormous white lines that still remain visible today. Some stretch for several kilometers. Others form giant geometric patterns. More than 800 straight lines have been identified. Hundreds of geometric figures cover the landscape, and dozens of enormous animals, plants, and human-like figures are scattered across the plateau. Together, they form one of the largest works of art ever created by human hands. What makes the Nazca Lines truly extraordinary is not simply their size. It's their perspective. Standing beside one of these figures, you might see nothing more than shallow grooves in the ground. Walk a few meters away and they disappear completely into the surrounding desert. Only from high above does the complete image emerge. Today, airplanes allow tourists to admire these incredible designs in just a few minutes. But nearly 2,000 years ago, there were no airplanes, no helicopters, no drones, no satellites, no balloons that could carry people high enough to view the finished artwork. This simple fact has puzzled generations of explorers and scientists. Why would anyone spend years creating gigantic images they could never fully see themselves? Ironically, the Nazca Lines remained hidden for centuries, not because they were buried, but because they were simply too large. Spanish conquistadors passed through this region during the 16th century. Some noticed strange markings, crossing the desert, and assumed they were ancient roads. They never realized those roads formed gigantic animals and geometric figures. The true scale of the mystery would remain unknown for hundreds of years. Everything changed during the 20th century. As aviation became more common, pilots flying across southern Peru noticed unusual patterns below. From the air, the desert transformed into an enormous canvas. Lines intersected with perfect precision. Animals appeared as if they had been drawn by an invisible hand. Shapes stretched across hillsides and valleys with astonishing accuracy. What looked ordinary from the ground became breathtaking from the sky. News of the discovery spread rapidly throughout the archaeological world. Researchers rushed to Peru. Photographers captured images unlike anything ever seen before. Suddenly, the Nazca Desert became one of the world's greatest mysteries. Among those fascinated by the lines was a German mathematician named Maria Reiche. Unlike many visitors, she didn't come simply to admire them. She dedicated her entire life to understanding them. For decades, Maria walked across the desert almost every day. She measured lines by hand. She mapped figures one by one. She swept away sand covering fragile sections. Sometimes she worked completely alone beneath the scorching desert sun. Many people thought she was obsessed, but thanks to her dedication, countless geoglyphs were documented before modern development could damage them. She became known as the Lady of the Lines. Without her work, much of what we know today might have been lost forever. As more surveys were completed, archaeologists realized the mystery was even larger than anyone had imagined. There wasn't just one drawing, there were hundreds. Some figures represented animals found throughout South America. Monkeys, condors, hummingbirds, spiders, whales, dogs, llamas, even strange human-like figures stared across the desert from nearby hillsides. Some geoglyphs measured only a few dozen meters. Others stretched for hundreds of meters. The famous hummingbird spans roughly 90 meters from wingtip to wingtip. The monkey measures over 90 meters in length. Several straight lines continue for more than 5 kilometers without noticeably changing direction. Even with modern surveying equipment, creating such precision across uneven terrain would require careful planning. The ancient builders accomplished this using nothing more than simple tools. At least, that's what archaeologists currently believe. As interest in the Nazca Lines grew, so did the theories. Some believed they were giant calendars. Others argued they pointed toward stars. Some suggested ceremonial roads used during religious rituals. And then came perhaps the most famous claim of all. In 1968, Swiss author Erich von Däniken published Chariots of the Gods. He proposed that the Nazca Lines were connected to extraterrestrial visitors. According to his theory, some of the long, straight lines resembled runways for alien spacecraft. Scientists quickly rejected these claims because there is no archaeological evidence supporting them. Yet the idea captured the public imagination. Even today, millions of people first hear about the Nazca Lines through stories involving ancient aliens. But the real mystery is arguably even more fascinating than science fiction, because we know human beings created these enormous figures. The challenge is understanding exactly why. Modern technology has revealed something unexpected. For decades, researchers believed they had identified nearly every geoglyph. They were wrong. Using drones, satellite imagery, and artificial intelligence, archaeologists continue discovering new figures hidden across the desert. Some are so faint they remained invisible for centuries. Others lie on nearby hillsides instead of flat plains. Every new discovery raises even more questions. How many geoglyphs still remain undiscovered? Were they all created during the same period? Or did generations continue expanding this enormous landscape over hundreds of years? The deeper scientists investigate, the more mysterious the Nazca Lines become. At first glance, the mystery seems impossible. An ancient civilization, living in one of Earth's harshest environments, somehow produced enormous works of art with astonishing precision. They left behind no written explanation, no detailed instructions, no surviving eyewitness accounts, only silent lines stretching across the desert. For nearly 2,000 years, they have survived earthquakes, wind, and the passage of time, waiting, watching, refusing to reveal their true purpose. But who were the people responsible? How did they survive in such an unforgiving land? And what could possibly motivate an entire civilization to spend generations creating artwork visible only from the heavens? To answer those questions, we must first understand the remarkable people behind one of history's greatest mysteries, the Nazca civilization. Who created the Nazca Lines? The answer is the Nazca civilization, a culture that flourished along Peru's southern coast between around 100 BC and 800. Living in one of the driest regions on Earth was never easy. Water was scarce, crops depended on underground aqueducts, and survival required careful planning. Despite these harsh conditions, the Nazca people developed impressive pottery, colorful textiles, and remarkable engineering skills. Creating the giant geoglyphs was surprisingly simple in concept. The desert floor was covered with dark stones that had been stained by the sun over thousands of years. By removing these stones, the Nazca revealed the lighter soil beneath, forming bright lines that stood out against the darker landscape. Archaeologists believe the builders used wooden stakes and ropes to keep the lines straight. Experiments have shown that even large figures could be created with these basic tools, proving that advanced technology wasn't necessary. But while scientists understand how the lines were made, the biggest question remains unanswered. Why did they create hundreds of enormous figures that can only be fully appreciated from the sky? For decades, researchers have searched for the answer, but the mystery continues. Many theories have been proposed to explain the Nazca Lines. The most widely accepted idea is that they were connected to religion. The Nazca people depended on water for survival, and many researchers believe the giant figures played a role in ceremonies, asking the gods for rain and fertile land. Others suggest the long straight lines were ceremonial pathways where people walked during important rituals. Another popular theory claims the lines formed a giant astronomical calendar aligned with the sun, moon, or stars. While some alignments exist, most archaeologists believe this cannot explain the entire network of geoglyphs. Then there are the famous alien theories, because the figures are easiest to recognize from the air. Some people have suggested they were created for extraterrestrial visitors. However, there is no scientific evidence supporting this idea, and archaeologists consider it highly unlikely. Even today, researchers continue discovering new geoglyphs using drones and artificial intelligence. Every discovery adds another piece to the puzzle, but no single explanation answers every question. Perhaps that is why the Nazca Lines remain one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world. After nearly 2,000 years, they still challenge our understanding of human creativity, belief, and ingenuity, reminding us that history doesn't always reveal all of its secrets.